In Romans 8:6, Paul said to be spiritually minded is life and peace. The goal of Christianity is to be spiritually minded. We're trying to set our minds on heaven. We're trying to do those things that the Christian discipline is all about. Christianity is not about hiring God to bless our earthly agenda, but it is being redeemed, us being bought by God, becoming His, so that we can say with Paul in Galatians 2:20, it is no longer I who lives, but Christ who lives in me. That's spiritually minded. That's learning to make a transition from being worldly to totally spiritually minded. And it is a bit of a challenge, and it is a huge challenge. You get to pursue this thing for your whole entire life. You never get to a point where you go, well, I've done it all. In 1 Corinthians 11:1, he said, imitate me as I also imitate Christ. And you start thinking about imitating Christ, we sing walking in the footsteps of Jesus, and you're like, wow, that's tough. That is really tough. I mean, we start to think about not just the morality of Jesus, and I think a lot of us get the moral part okay, but you start thinking of the mindset of Jesus. You know that prayer in the garden, not my will, but thine be done? And you know, Paul did essentially the same thing in 2 Corinthians chapter 12, where he said about his thorn in the flesh, that he prayed that would be removed, and God said his grace was sufficient for him. And Paul said, basically, I'm going to paraphrase, I will rejoice in my affliction. That mindset, wow. Spiritually minded to that level, definitely not going to tell you I'm there yet, but that's the goal. Ephesians 5:1, in context is forgiveness, it tells us to imitate God. Whew, let that one soak in a moment. The goal of Christianity is to imitate God. Now, in the very last verse of the previous chapter, he said that we forgive one another as God in Christ forgave us. And you start thinking about, okay, I got the morality stuff down pretty good, doing okay there, but can I really forgive another person who's done me wrong in the same way God forgave me? Can I imitate God's love to that depth and really let it go and move forward in life, in love and rejoicing? Right, that one gets really tough. So now we're back to Colossians 3, verse 1 and 2, where he says, set your mind on heaven. This is what it is all about. It is about learning to be spiritually minded, to have that mind of Christ in us. Romans 12:2 would say to be transformed by the renewing of your mind. And again, I think that's a little more of a challenge than what we realize. 2 Corinthians 10:5 would say we bring every thought into captivity to the obedience of Christ. And so you start to see how deep the challenge is. This isn't about, no, you can't go out drinking and carousing and doing drugs. No, you can't do that. But that's the easy part. Let no corrupt communication proceed from mouth. That's the easy part. Really imitating God and Christ in attitude and mindset, that love and forgiveness, that's the tough part. But here it is. It's a choice. I will pursue it or I will not pursue it. You will pursue it or you will not pursue it. It's your choice. And when we get to heaven, we give an account for the choice we made. Kind of scary, huh? Give us some thought, put your comments below, and as always, have a great day.